I got something to tell you. You can compete with the top minds in the world if you're willing to armor and callous your and outwork them, mother, and dig deep. When most people see four walls, I see a massive empty space that deserves all kind of creativity to make it look beautiful.
There's no motivation. Motivation is great. Like all of us, like some of us right now, they have it. But what makes a winner is you realize that motivation is a temporary. When you are driven, you're looking for every single crumb. Constantly challenging our weaknesses. We want that person who's constantly, making us feel nice and good and secure in ours. That's the mediocrity of life. We want to be the best amongst the average people. People wonder, how do you stay hungry all the time? Because after I accomplish something, I don't sit back like a lot of guys who graduate buds, graduate this, graduate that. They get comfortable. They wonder why I'm getting weak, man. I don't know, I lost my edge. What's going on? Because once you hit the top of the mountain, guess what happened? I'm good. I'm good, so you wonder why you're falling down now. Because once you reach the top of the mountain, you got to build another one. That's mediocrity. There's a lot of people in mediocrity who have a nice resume, but they're one-timers, man. They hit a one-time deal, they busted it open, got a lot of money, but they're good. You're mediocre now, man. What are you doing today, tomorrow, the next day? That's why I don't listen to theorists. I don't listen to all that bullshit. I listen to fuck who's like this, man. What's wrong, man? I'm tired, dude. Why are you tired? Because tomorrow, I gotta do the shit again, man. Whatever the shit is that made me fucking nauseous and sick to my stomach, it made me hurt. There's no ending. And that's the person I listen to. That's the person who's gained knowledge. You gain knowledge through suffering. And on the other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen. It's a beautiful world because that's where you find yourself. You don't find yourself in over here. You find yourself on the other end. Like the 100-mile race I was on, I ran it for 24 hours. I found myself on the other end of that fucking race. That 19 hours, I found, wow, there's a whole nother world out here that I've never even saw. But the world's in your mind. And that's what all that mediocrity is about. Mediocrity is contagious.
I think it's my take it or leave it kind of mentality, where I don't really think about your feelings. I don't really care about what you think or what you think about me, or if you're soft, if you're weak, if you're hard, if you're an alpha, whatever the hell you are. I just don't really care. And I'm gonna say what I believe is going to get you better. It may make you pissed off at me in the interim, but in the long term, if you really think about what I'm saying things to you that I had to listen to and tell myself, and it's just sometimes hard truth sucks.
Let's talk about something uncomfortable for a moment, something most people actively avoid: pain. Not physical pain necessarily, though that's part of it. I'm talking about the pain of growth, the pain of facing your fears, the pain of honest self-reflection, the pain of discipline. Why is it that for the vast majority, this kind of pain seems utterly impossible? Because we become masters of evasion. We've built entire lives, entire cultures around escaping it. Feeling a void, a moment of discomfort, a whisper of inadequacy. What's the first thing we reach for? The phone. Endless scrolling, a digital sedative. It numbs the mind, distracts the soul. Feeling lonely, unfulfilled? There's a party, a fleeting connection, a quick hit of external validation. It feels good for a second, but it doesn't solve the core issue, does it? Stressed? Overwhelmed? Maybe it's that extra drink, that indulgent meal, that mindless binge-watching session. Anything to push away the discomfort. Anything to avoid sitting with the silence, with the truth. We've been conditioned to believe that pain is the enemy, that happiness means constant comfort. But here's the brutal truth. If you consistently escape the small pains, you will never achieve true greatness. You will never build anything meaningful. You will never truly know yourself. Because real growth, real strength, real resilience, it's forged in the fire of discomfort. It's in the moments you choose to lean into the pain, not run from it. It's when you choose the hard path, the quiet grind, the lonely discipline. That's where character is built. That's where clarity emerges. That's where your true power lies. The people who achieve extraordinary things, they don't avoid pain. They understand it. They embrace it. They see it as a signal, a teacher, a necessary step. They know that the fleeting pleasure of escape leads to long-term regret, and the temporary pain of discipline leads to lasting freedom.
When I became whoever I am now, people always say, you know what? With success, you're gonna have these issues. And I just don't buy into all that shit. You know, everybody thinks you gotta settle when you become successful, and it's just people are gonna take your book and they're gonna bootleg your book, and it's just great signs of success. Well, you can sit there like most people do and just sit there and take that shit, or you can go ahead and believe that, you know what, I don't give a fuck how successful I am. I'm gonna hold your ass accountable for what, and that's just how it goes for me, man. So I just hold people accountable. No matter how successful you are, you must hold people to the standard.
If I wake up in the morning time, I'm thinking about, damn, man, I got my dad, my mom issues, my girl issues. That dog doesn't really want to wake up anymore. Only have so many. So you have to be really aware of the energy that people bring into your life. And I call it, you got to shit can. You got to be ready to shit can people, man. And in a minute, as fast as they come in your life, you have to be ready to get them out of your life. If you realize they are not the right people to help you succeed, to help you excel, they have to be gone. Not getting civilized is about having a savage mentality. Civilized is something where people, it's a comfortable world. A lot of us say, you know, like for instance, I see these athletes right now who retire, you know, I'm 38, you know, I'm 39. I did 20 years at the top of my game, and I'm chilling out now. You see them a year later, and how they look. What the hell just happened to you, dude? What the hell? You're one of the greatest athletes of all time. Kids looked up to you. Women, men of all ages looked up to you. And they hit the pinnacle where it's time to retire, and their mind says, I'm civilized. The worst thing that could ever happen to any human being is they become civilized. It's that total accountability. Like even when you retire, there's a motherfucker looking at me and judging me right now, man. I was the baddest person to ever live. It doesn't go away, man. You gotta wake up, even though you retired, you never retired. You're setting the example every single day of your life. And being civilized feels so good. I'm sorry, man. Once you get to the top, you may retire, but you ain't never coming back home, man, because now you're judged. People see you falling off. You want to be that guy who knows I may be retired from the sport or from wherever I did, but I'll be damned if you ever see me looking like shit, feeling like shit, not arriving. People, I've arrived. I've arrived mentality. You're always setting the example. Civilization feels so good. These comfortable feelings are what people want. They want retirement. They want that. They need that. It's a yearning feeling. I want it too. People love putting a label on me about, my God, man, you're just wired different. I'm wired different, dude. I'm thinking right now, after I got past my stuttering thing, now I'm on a roll, I'm good now. You know what I'm thinking about right now? I gotta wake up tomorrow and do the same shit again. I gotta leave this interview and go stretch out for 2.5 hours. I hate that shit. But guess what it does though? I'm constantly callousing over my victim's mentality that I once had growing up. Every day you have to do this shit. Because why? When you stop doing it, you don't just maintain it. If you stop shooting a gun, you're not gonna be a great shot if you pick a gun up a year from now. The only way to keep from getting rusty is to constantly oil that mother machine. The machine exists. You gotta keep challenging it every day. These haters, they know who you are, but you don't know them. There's a reason behind that. You've done something amazing. They've done nothing. Period, which is probably can hate your ass. That's right. Where are you going? What do you want to do with your life, bro? Like you saw David Goggins, and because now you want some followers, I'm going to imitate David Goggins. I'm going to be a big old fat white dude.
That's right.
That runs and spills a bunch of shit while it may be funny. Where you going? you look like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Where the f going, bro?
Not very long or
Like,
far.
life right now needs to really be kicking you in the back of the head saying, look, man, our time frame is done. Because what people don't get about life is up until you're about 30, you're fucked. You know what you're doing. You're kind of just scrambling around unless you have good direction. Then you might figure it out from 30 to 50 something, maybe 60. And then the back half, you're like, so 2/3 of your life you suck. So the more you fill up that middle part, from 30 to 50, 40 to 60, ish, you only got about good 25 years of like, man, I'm killing it out here. People don't get that. So you're around out here, running around your shirt off, and you're in that window now of like, you're starting to waste time, bro. You're starting to waste time. So that's how I feel about it.
And the funny thing about it is that most people who hear me, they hear me cuss all the time. They hear me cuss, they hear me going off, carry the boats, carry the logs, all this shit. They hear all this hoopla, but they don't understand, man. There's a very, very, very philosophical side of David Goggins. And that's the side that book right there, Never Finished, gives them, is that that's the real me. Like what they see me in a 1-minute video wrapped up. And the whole idea about that 1-minute video is that I'm trying to get you off the couch. And I don't have 10 to 20 minutes to give you some great philosophy about why we need to get off the couch. I just need to spark your ass off that couch. But when I write these books, I'm able to go deeper. I'm able to grab your attention, hold it, make you sit there and simmer on some of these thoughts. So my whole life is not some big hoopla pep rally. My whole life is about going into the dungeon and going into that area where I can go through all this shit and become a philosopher. I really am a philosopher, man. A philosopher about the mind, about how far we can go. And the first book didn't do that. And I did it on purpose because no one David Goggins was. So I'm not gonna give you Never Finished first because I haven't really gone out here and told you who David Goggins is. So now they knew who I was, and now I can bring it to the next level. And what's funny about that, my friend, the third book that no one's even heard about, that's almost done, it puts that book to shame.
Man, these days, everybody's got something to say. Everyone's talking like they figured it all out. Giving advice they don't live. Quoting books they've never applied. Judging moves they never had the guts to make. You know what all that talk builds? Nothing. No business. No legacy. No real life change. Because talking is easy. Watching is safe. Listening without doing, that's just glorified procrastination. Let me break it down. There are theorists. They know all the quotes. They've read every self-help book. They've got vision boards, plans, and journals filled with dreams. But when it's time to actually do something, they freeze. They overthink. They wait. They talk hustle but don't hustle. They know the path but never walk it. Then there are practitioners. Different breed. They don't say much. Not because they don't have opinions, but because they're too busy building. They're in the trenches, failing, learning, adapting. They've got dirt under their nails, sweat on their face, and 1,000 small wins stacked on their back, while others are busy posting about discipline. Practitioners are out there living it, even when nobody's watching. Here's the real difference. Theorists wait to feel confident before they move. Practitioners move, and that's how they build confidence. Theorists crave the outcome. Practitioners fall in love with the process. The reps, the grind, the uncomfortable parts no one celebrates. You don't get stronger thinking about push-ups. You get stronger doing them. Tired, shaky, even when it hurts. You don't earn respect by knowing everything. You earn it by doing something with what you know. So stop chasing more information like it's going to save you. You've got enough. You need more execution, more doing, more failing, more adjusting, less perfection, more momentum. Look, decide who you want to be. You gonna be the one who talks about change, or the one who becomes it? Because in the end, action is the separator, execution is the game, and the ones who move, They're the ones who win.
Every single, like my refrigerator is never full. And I have a dog at home, an English bulldog. Anything that falls on the floor, it eats everything. Everything. And when I see that, that's the mentality that I want. I take everything that makes me feel a certain way and I use it for fuel. And that's how you stay driven. But some people don't know how to get there because why? They just live in this mediocre motivation. Like, I gotta hear David Goggins for the rest of my life.
How do I do it? How am I able to do what I do on a daily basis? You know, how do I fight the demons? Because they hear me speak and I'm very raw and real. How do you fight my insecurities? All these things. And they're there every day. They're there every day. Like you said, I'm in the search for a feeling. I'm not in the search for a trophy. I'm not in search for love. I'm not in search for more followers on Instagram or social media. When I started this journey years ago, and I realized that I'm going to be somebody, and I'm searching for a feeling of true victory for myself, and only myself. The second I shut out the whole world and realized that one thing, that I am in this world alone. I'm fighting this race by myself. Yeah, I'm all about people, I'm all about team, I'm all about that shit. But I'm really all about right now and in my life, just like you said, no one knows the real truth about me, how hard I really go. I don't care if anybody knows. I don't want anybody to know. I'm an introvert. I live an introverted life. And I love that about me. That right there is my fuel. Is I know that there's really no one out there grinding like me. And if they are, so be it. If I know about you, I'll make sure that I up my game. That's what the mentality is all about. My whole thing is a mentality thing. Like I told you the last time I was on the show, I viewed myself as the weakest person on the planet Earth. My goal in life was to, in my mind, believe I'm the hardest man alive. And that's why the whole thing is can't hurt me. That's what it's about. It's about whatever you think you are, you have to make that dream a reality. But that's where the hard part is making that dream reality. That's where the hard work comes. That's where people know, how do you keep grinding every day? You have to make those insecurities, those fears. Like when I was 300 pounds, I didn't have any drive. I'm gonna go be a Navy SEAL. What kind of stupid shit is that, 300 pounds? It wasn't like a drive to go be a Navy SEAL. I was an insecure, lying kid, afraid. I had to look at my insecurities and in my fear and find drive in that. We're all looking for passion. Passion's all around you. You have a whole stack of it all around you. It's your insecurities, all that shit. You gotta dive deep in that shit. It's all in there. All the energy and fuel you need is right in yourself. It's all there. You got a lot of stuff to do to overcome. And you know, that's where I found it. I found it right there in my own insecurities. I found drive in my own insecurities. And that's the most powerful thing in the world. When you can find drive in your own doubt, fear, insecurities, you become very unstoppable.
Also telling me a lot about them. It's also telling me that they are motivated, that they are fired up, that they are driven. That is my entire life. If I have the wrong people in my life, whether they're family, friends, old relationships, and you bring that negative energy to my life, it's hard enough for me to wake up and find that dog and then to unleash that dog.
Normal people with normal minds can't understand that. So then you become a liar or this and that. But now I got to the point in my life where I'm like, yourself, dude. If you don't believe it, go ahead. But I don't talk about a lot because I know what I've done, and I know what the mind can do and where it can take you. I've experienced it over and over, and my mom has seen it over and over and over again, to the point where it's almost like I can't even believe sometimes, but I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to push myself to that limit and see what happens. There you go. That's the only reason
they have already put their cap on their success in life. And that's why most people aren't sitting where you're sitting or sitting where I'm sitting. You never capped yourself. You might have. And if you did, you took it off. People cap themselves. They look at somebody, and because their mind can't imagine it, they then start talking shit. He has to be doing this, or he has to be doing that. There has to be some trick. There has to be some potion. This is bullshit. No, it's because you cannot allow your mind to open up for the possibility of it can be done, which is why you being people are where they are today. Because you've shackled your mind to have limits. And everybody has a limit, but find it first.
You got a limit?
Haven't found it yet.
Stay f***ing hard. Not sometimes. Not when it's easy. Not when people are clapping for you. Stay hard when no one believes in you. Stay hard when the results don't show. Stay hard when your body says quit and your mind whispers, just take it easy. You weren't built for soft. You weren't built to fold when it gets uncomfortable. You were built to suffer. You were built to struggle. Because inside that pain, that's where greatness is hiding. Everybody wants to win, but nobody wants to bleed. Everybody wants success, but nobody wants the scars. They want comfort, validation, shortcuts. You want legacy, discipline, war. You want to stay hard when it rains, when it hurts, when it's lonely. You want to stay hard when they laugh at you, when they count you out. Because you know softness is what broke them. Comfort is what buried their dreams. But not you. You wake up tired. You move anyway. You feel fear. You go anyway. You fail. You get up again and again and again. Because you've trained your mind to push when it screams stop. You've trained your soul to hunt when others hide. Staying hard isn't about fake toughness. It's about choosing discipline when distraction knocks. It's about doing the hard thing, the right thing, even when no one's watching. It's about being unbreakable because you've already been broken and survived. So when life comes swinging, you swing back harder. When the weight gets heavy, you carry it further. When you feel nothing left, you find one more rep, one more second, one more step. You don't need a crowd. You don't need applause. You just need that fire in your gut, that promise you made to yourself, that mission you locked in your bones. Stay hard for the man or woman you're becoming. Stay hard for the days they'll say, "How did you do it?" And you'll look back and say, "I never gave in. I never made excuses. I never got soft. I stayed f***ing hard."
So basically, as you know from the book, hope is bullshit. When I was going through SEAL training, a lot of people hoped that they would pull us from that cold water. Man, hope ain't gonna get you shit because it's not in your hands. Hope is not in your hands. You can't control hope, man. You can't. It's just hopefully this thing happens. But when you get belief, when you start to create belief, and belief isn't like an after-school special. Most people think, oh man, like your mom and dad, you need to believe in yourself. Sesame Street, when I was growing up and shit, you need to believe in yourself. That's not the belief I'm talking about. It's the belief that you harness through hard work and dedication. And it's something that you know what you are capable of because you've gone there several times in those dark times. So my belief, why I kept on going back to Navy SEAL training and going back to all these different things, not because I hoped training would get easier. It's because I believed I could make it. Through the training I put myself through, I just wasn't doing and executing as I should. And I knew that. It was all on me. So then when I put that belief into work and that hard work came to fruition, everything happened for me.
You have to get back up quickly when you fall. That's the mindset in everything you do. Like if you want to be great, you have got to be that person who gets up fast. I mean fast. Don't even think about, oh, I failed. Once you get up though, you have to go through and you have to kind of piece that failure so you can learn from that. But if you stay on the ground too long and let that mind creep in, the mind's gonna always find the path of least resistance, which is we're not good enough. Everybody's mind. If you can't get that marathon knocked out, you get the AT, maybe I wasn't made for this. Maybe I wasn't made for that. That's where the mind is conditioned to go because it has wife, kid. It has so much going on that once it feels stressed, I got enough in here. Let's go this way. Because this way, I got too much. It's protecting you. You got to take off that governor and say, follow me to make your day better. Follow me to change life. And that's the whole point about it. Like, there's nothing gets me more mad. Oh my God, David Goggins, man, you're amazing. Every day I watch you, every day I listen to you. And you're some fat, nasty, lazy mother. So guess what I tell them? I obviously didn't do my job right. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Like I said, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a truth teller.
Broken. But you have to learn how to fail. Because I'm going to explain this to you. I had big dreams. A lot of us have big dreams, big goals. And when you have goals that are maybe outside your reach, you have to know that getting to that goal, you're going to have a lot of bad days, a lot of setbacks. So I was just failing. I kept failing and kept failing and kept failing. So I had to teach myself how to fail right. And what that means is when I fail, I can't spend much time in that fail zone. I have to be able to get up and get after the next day just as fast. So the big thing is know that if you have big goals and big dreams, along the way, failure is going to happen. So how fast do you get up from that? And you got to teach yourself that. But the biggest key to success in anything you do is you got to have an unlimited supply, this drive and passion. And it may come from nothing. Like for me, there was no passion, no drive, no nothing. But I had this fire that I'm going to be somebody. And it has to be there because on all those bad days and all those days you don't want to do shit, you have to be your own motivator, your own coach, your own trainer, your own everything. So to do that, you have to come into work, and work is whatever your work may be, ready to go. And what that means is you may have failed miserably yesterday, but you come to work like, people like, man, you just lost everything. How the hell are you this damn motivated? Because this is what it takes. This is what it takes. And you got to get it from wherever you can. Whether you make up this illusion of your life or this false reality that gets you motivated, whatever gets you motivated, it's got to be here at the tip of your brain at all times. Because in those dark moments, you got to pull it out. So that's the big thing for me, man. I was always fired up at all times.
Can't break me, because I'm built different. You throw pain at me, I eat it for breakfast. You bring pressure, I turn it into power. You send storms, I become the thunder. I'm not made from comfort. I'm not shaped by ease. I'm built from the struggle, from the grind, from the lonely nights and the silent battles. Most people run when it gets hard. I run toward it because I don't fear the fire. I forge in it. I don't crumble under weight. I carry it further. You see, I wasn't handed strength. I earned it, rep by rep, scar by scar. Every failure made me sharper. Every setback made me hungrier. Every doubt built another layer of armor. You can't break me because I've been broken before and rebuilt stronger. You can't shake me because I've already walked through earthquakes and didn't flinch. You can't stop me because I don't wait for permission. I don't fold, I don't pause, I don't beg. When others get tired, I dig deeper. When they make excuses, I make progress. When they crack, I climb because I'm not built like them. I'm built to last. I'm built to endure. I'm built for war. Weakness is everywhere. The world's gone soft. People tap out at the first sign of pressure. They want comfort, not challenge. They want easy wins, not earned victories. They scroll instead of study. They party instead of prepare. They complain instead of compete. They want the reward but skip the process. And that's exactly why it's so easy to rise to the top right now. Because most people quit before the race even starts. They're allergic to discipline. They avoid discomfort like it's poison. But discomfort, that's where the winners are made. You don't need to be a genius to dominate. You just need grit. You don't need to be born rich. You just need relentless hunger. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need the guts to grind through chaos. This soft world, it's your advantage. Because when you show up with fire in your chest, with a vision no one else can see, with consistency that outlasts motivation, you immediately stand out. While others hit snooze, you're already building. While they make excuses, you're making progress. While they seek comfort, you seek challenge. And that mindset alone puts you in the top 10%. Want to go further? Get obsessed. Want to rise above average? Embrace pain. Want to win? Make sacrifice your lifestyle. Because in a world full of weak minds, a strong one becomes unstoppable. In a world drowning in comfort, discipline becomes your superpower. It's not crowded at the top because most people never climb. So if you've got that edge, that fire, that no-quit DNA, now is your time. Because the softer the world...
A year, it cleans you up nicely, man. Whatever your problem is, if you can dedicate yourself for a year to something, you can be a changed person. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to forgo? Because a lot of people, like this guy came in one time, I was a trainer. He goes, man, I can stop doing anything but my frappuccinos. Me. People, it's hard for people to understand how I lost 106 pounds in less than 3 months. I sat down at the table and I said to myself, what are you willing to give up? Everything. And when people come to me with that kind of mindset, I can work with you. When you are willing to strip yourself down to nothing and give everything, that's who I want to work with. Because now I can mold you into exactly who you want to be. When you put these restrictions up, and that's why my first question is, how bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. But a lot of people, most people don't want it that badly. Which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are? You know how to do it. You know exactly how to be you or how to be me. You don't want to do it. So I can't make you do it, nor do I have the time or energy to force you into that place that I know you have to be to do it. There's no luck in this game, man. There may be a little bit of luck, but the luck happens after you bust your ass and you put yourself in that lucky situation. Luck doesn't happen. You put yourself in that situation where luck might happen. And that's what people don't know. But to get there, luck ain't gonna happen. You have to put yourself in that situation, man. It takes a lot of work. I'm gonna go there with you real quick. I believe in a higher power. Don't know the name, don't know where it's coming from, don't know anything like that. But I believe that this power, and visualize me real quick. Let's say it's a man up there or a woman, whatever, and they have a chart. And when you're born, they say David Goggins, born February 17th, 1975 at 6 a.m. They write the chart down because they can see everything. They know exactly what you're supposed to be. They know what you're supposed to be. You die, you go to so-called heaven. You arrive at heaven, I'm 300 pounds. I retired as an Ecolab guy, which is okay, just a job, whatever. I go up there and God looks at me and he shows me my chart. And my chart on there says you were supposed to be a Navy SEAL. You're supposed to weigh 185 pounds. You're supposed to be one of the smartest people on the planet, this, all this. You see this. And now you're in heaven, you made it to heaven, but you're like, God, Doug, I was supposed to live that life. I was supposed to live that life. And then you find out that the reason why, because we all think that if we pray on it, if we do this, if we do that, whatever, we don't work, we just, whatever, it's gonna magically happen for us. No, I believe that when I'm all said and done with, my whole job is to outwork the chart. Whatever the chart says about me, the all-knowing power up there, I want to get up there and say, him look at me and say, I know everything. I didn't see this. I didn't see this. I want to feel that. I want to get to the other end of this world, and however I'm being judged, whoever's judging me, to look at me and say, I did not know, I had you at 185, I had you at this, but all this other shit, I was riding as you were living it. I want to find more, all I can. And in that sack of shit, you have to dive in that to find more. Because if you're not willing to go in there and face yourself, you're not gonna find anything. You can live right here on surface, man, right here on surface. So if there is an ending to this world and there is somewhere to go and there's a judgment, you're gonna get there and you might see a chart. And that chart may tell you who the should have been. And now you get the rest of your life to think about that. Man, I could have lived a much better life if I just would have just suffered a little bit more. If I just would have went in that shit and realized I had so much more. But fear and the 40% and living here versus living here, being afraid, stop me. So I'm a big guy in visualizing. I'm a big guy in making a world, it may not exist. To me it does. To me it does. And I'm overpowering myself every day. And you gotta find tools to do that. That's the tool that I use. So that's what it's all about.
Let me ask you something real. When no one's watching, not your friends, not your family, not even the mirror, what do you choose? Do you choose to scroll for another hour, or do you pick up that book you've been avoiding? Do you hit snooze and stay in bed, or do you get up and start building something? Do you grab the chips in the couch, or do you cook something healthy because you actually care about yourself? We all know what the right thing is. The hard part isn't not knowing, it's doing. Because here's the truth. Life is a constant battle between pleasure now and purpose later. And I'm not here to shame anyone. I've been there too. We all have. That rush of dopamine when you say yes to the party instead of the project. That quick fix from junk food or endless social media, or that late night binge watch. It feels good until it doesn't, because then comes the crash, the guilt, the emptiness. You wake up the next morning and wonder why you feel so drained, even though you did nothing. That's what short-term pleasure does. It gives you a moment of joy, but takes back tenfold from your future. Now don't get me wrong, rest is important, fun matters. Life isn't all hustle and grind. But there's a difference between choosing joy and chasing escape. What separates people who build something meaningful from those who don't? They make different choices, not because they're better than us, not because they don't struggle, but because they've decided that their future is worth more than their current comfort. They show up when they don't feel like it. They work when no one's clapping. They say no, so they can say yes to freedom later. They sit with loneliness, not because they want to, but because they're building something bigger than popularity. The top 1%, they don't live like that because they're perfect. They live like that because they've made peace with discomfort. They know that greatness doesn't come from a highlight reel. It comes from showing up on the lowlights, from doing the work when it's quiet, from failing quietly, learning quietly, growing quietly. And here's the thing, no one hands you purpose, no one texts it to you, no algorithm feeds it to you. You earn it, in silence, in sweat, in small decisions every single day. So here's my challenge to you. Start choosing your future over your feelings, just for a moment. Every time you put your phone down, you're choosing discipline over distraction. Every time you choose to move your body instead of numb it, you're investing in yourself. Every time you get up early, stay up late, or push through fatigue, you're stacking bricks in the foundation of the life you want. Because the pain of discipline fades, but the pain of regret, that sticks around. And trust me, you don't want to be 40, 50, 60 years old wishing you had started sooner. Greatness isn't handed out at birth. It's built, brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day.
Like your biggest enemy, the most important conversation you will ever have in life is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it, eventually you're going to act on it, whether good or bad. You have to. That's why the whole thing about this book I have, it's about you. It is about you. It's strictly about you finding who you are. So many people die, live 100 years, never know who they are. Never know who they are. You have to look in that mirror and know there's so much more in here, man. Because I can literally right now be a 300-pound guy spraying for cockroaches still to this day if I did not look in that mirror and say, there has to be more to this. This can't be it. And then willing to go into it, dive deep into it, and give all I have to find it. So that's what all that's about.